What's up, everybody? Welcome to the ultimate guide to Brute for Wartales 1.0. I want to take a chance and thank everybody that subscribed recently. You guys are amazing. We're almost 1500 subs. We really appreciate you. I want to remind everybody else to stop forgetting to subscribe and drop a like. Please do, because it's helping the channel so much. And now, without further ado, let's get into it. We're gonna start with the Mason Shield Brute, and here we have Damic. You know him from my showcase video. He's an absolute beast. Bloodthirsty and quick is one of the starting characters. He accumulated glorious, duelist, sociable, shield connoisseur, opportunistic and whatnot. He's even allergic because he got mosquito bites way too many times. But anyway, let's start with the stats. Now, because we're building around the Urkashet's mace, which is the best mace in the game, what it does is basically guarantees a critical hit and double damage if we have more strength than our enemy. So that means that all our points are going to strength, except for 2 aptitude points or 2 levels, which go to movement. Now, if you don't have Lair of the Rat like me here, you will be having 13 speed, which is good enough, especially in the end when you get inspiration, you get double movement. It's really enough. We haven't spent a single point in crit, but we still have 52 with all the buffs and the oils. So that's very good. And that number is actually 70 because of our passive skills. And now we're gonna go over the skills and you'll understand why. So for Mason Shield Brute, that's a heavy armor user, right? So we have Destroyer and we have Brawler. Brawler is the newest profession that came with 1.0. You can get it in Al-Azhar. You have to beat the arena there, the Lisbeth's arena, and then make your way to the mountains, to the Trapper Hut, and for 200 influence you can learn it. Now, in my opinion, Destroyer is way better than Brawler because it synergizes with our other skills and kind of like is part of the Brute's combo. I will demonstrate in an actual fight in a little bit, but let's go over the skills. For level 3, there's no discussion. That's how he makes Valor points, by engaging people. Now for level 5, we have to forget Armor Breaker for now, because when you're actually level 5, you gotta get Cruelty. The reason is that this 20% increase in damage and critical hit really helps while leveling your character. And in the early levels, your DPS is not as good, so you'll be getting a lot more damage. So the damage reduction that skill provides when upgraded is also very valuable. You can already see the theme here. When we use Weakening Blow and we're engaged with the enemy, we get additional 20% less damage. So in total of 70% damage reduction plus our guard. So they will barely scratch you, basically. For level 8, without a doubt, one of the best passive skills in the whole game. 50% at first and 100% when upgraded. This makes you hit heavy armored guys like you're hitting somebody in light armor. Absolutely a must skill for any kind of brute you're building. At level 10, I mean, it's really up to you. I find defensive riposte better than intervention because around level 10 my other characters don't really need saving at all. Plus this costs a valor point. So this is my preference because I'll demonstrate it to you in a little bit. It's basically like a free attack, and we've already established the damage reduction we're talking about with the Brute. So even if it doesn't proc, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't cost you anything. And now for level 12, I haven't even tried this skill, to be honest with you. But having the option to have Armor Breaker as well is just indispensable. And the extra 35 damage to armor is nice. The ability to buff yourself with brutality is really nice as well. But the main thing is to get inspiration, because inspiration doubles your movement speed and you can just be anywhere on the battlefield. It's so valuable. And honestly, that is one of the little weaknesses that this class has when leveling up, his mobility. So because we don't want to overinvest in movement, you know, we gotta just work around and play with what we have at around 13 and 15 with food buff up until we get to the point we get this. After we get this, we're talking 30 speed. That's amazing. So now let's move on to a short demonstration to see what he can actually do when maxed out. And then we're gonna kind of go back into a previous save to show how is the brute doing while leveling up, what is the difference, and so on. Alright, so let's see the brute's combos in action. So one way to go is go for the weaker targets like rangers or archers, and just use the weakest attack. Now, this might not kill him, but we have 50% chance to proc attack of opportunity with all of our attacks, and that is why you always have to have a shield that has active damaging skill. And there you go. We didn't crit, but we got that kill with the unstable oil. And now we have two of the strongest attacks available to us, and we're also buffed with brutality and inspiration kicked in. So basically, you can kill somebody and then relocate very far away to do something else if you'd like. Now let's go for this guy. If our unstable oil procs again, he will die. But if it doesn't, Rat will be available to finish him off. And there you go, he survived. But now we're gonna finish him off with Rat. And further buff ourselves with Fury. So now what we can do is attack directly and save our taunt, or let's say taunt this tank. Or we can taunt them to increase our chances to kill him. So just for the sake of the example, let's try and see what we can do with all these buffs. And there you go. Unfortunately, we didn't crit. So what we can try is use our skill, defensive riposte. Let's try and disengage. And there you go, free hit. And now we can actually taunt this guy. And now that opens up the opportunity for our ranger to grab some kills. Let's see some big damage. Now keep in mind, when we're attacking from behind, we ignore 50% of his armor. It's gonna be a big damage. There you go. That's how you do it. Alright, so we're back to level 7. We got damage here. We got the Urkoshet mace at level 5, by the way. As soon as I got my ghost armor and equipped it all my guys, I went to the tomb. You can do it earlier, depending on how you feel. I mean, if you think your party is ready, by all means, you know, go early. But I think level 5 is a good spot because you get access to the newer tier items that you can craft, and the fight in the tomb is very, very easy. Now I'm using perforating oil and sharpening oil because I still haven't gone to Ludern. To be honest with you, the faster you get the unstable oil, the better, because this is the most broken oil in the game. Your DPS of all your melee characters will go up substantially. But before that, you could use perforating oil and sharpening oil on the brute, because before level 8, he's not doing good damage to armored units, and this really helps. Now let's hop into a battle to kind of see how we do and to show you what you should be doing with your brute at the lower levels. We're gonna jump this patrol. Now notice that they're level 9, we're level 7. I don't know why the game was giving me always 2 levels above me. I like the challenge, but I don't know if that's normal. Let me know in the comments if the game scales wrongly like this, because it's supposed to give you like 1 level higher than you, or very rarely 2 levels over you. That's adaptive exploration, by the way. So yeah, the main role is to kill one light armor guy. In this case, we're gonna kill the captain. So to improve our damage, we're gonna taunt him first. Now we can use Rat. And then we're gonna engage this guy by using engaging blow, so that we have the riposte. Then we're gonna weaken him, and he will most likely die if we crit. So we're doing 20% more damage, and we're doing 20% more crit against him. Alright, before the final words for the brute, I wanted to go over some gear choices that you could use and are fun. So for shields, Rampart for me is the best because you can set it up to do high damage, like 300-400 crits, because a lot of enemies have buffs and you can debuff them and pile up that extra damage percent. Now, other choices, like we already mentioned with the lower level brute, Buckler of the Guard is an excellent choice because of the riposte. It really helps out the damage when you're trying to tank. Another option is the Alizarian Buckler. It will apply fragility so you can hit them harder, or your allies can hit them harder. The Legion Buckler is okay. It will buff your damage and your allies. The Paladin's Rondel is very high armor and guard. It applies burning. I don't really use that at all because if the target survives, they will actually burn you as well. So it's really up to you. For weapons, the Inquisition hammer is not bad. It will hit many times. The damage is not very high, but it will most definitely provoke attack of opportunity from the unstable oil, because you can sometimes hit like 3-4 times and you have 50% chance to apply the oil. The Crux Mace, also not a bad choice. It's very good damage actually, and it applies that fragility to further increase your damage. But the earlier you get the Urkashet Mace, the better, to be honest with you. It's the best mace, no doubt about it. And last, for the belt accessories, while you're leveling up, before you get the Urkashet mace, when you're using like random maces, if you feel you're not critting enough, you can use the stiletto for that 5% extra. You can also use pocket knife with the Urkashet mace before you get your unstable oil. If you feel your crits are not doing enough damage, yeah, use the pocket knife. But eventually, the unstable oil concentrate is just unbeatable option. For final words, the Mace and Shield Brute is the strongest tank, again because of his damage capabilities and his OP passive skills. Now with the new update, the Sword and Board class got good improvement, so it's pretty damn close to it, but still the Brute comes on top. Let me know what you think in the comments. And now we're going to be moving on to the Vanguard with the two-handed blunt. And yeah, you've seen what she did to those level 14 Inquisition troops. The first part of the guide with the Mace and Shield Brute went a little bit long, so I'm going to try to make this one faster. We've already talked about the Brute's passives. We're basically getting the same ones, just in a different order. So yeah, we're getting Vanguard obviously for a AoE build. It's a very versatile skill because you can use it to escape, you can use it to close in if you don't have enough movement, and it does a lot of damage and buffs you with Fury. That's 50% damage. So I will show you in a second, but basically you always want to try to land adjacent to an enemy. Of course, at level 3 Valorous Chain, we're doing AoE attacks only. So the major difference between the Mace and Shield Brute is that we will be getting Armor Breaker instead of Cruelty, and we'll be getting Cruelty at level 12. And we need Armor Breaker for the Brutality. We need the increased damage as soon as possible, and we need the Inspiration so we can run in and run out to safety, which opens up more per role because the Executioner, for example, doesn't have access to Inspiration. So basically wherever he does his AoEs, that's where he'll stay. Obviously Guard Breaker doesn't matter what we choose on level 10, and then 12, like we said, we're getting Cruelty for that extra damage buff. I find Pocket Knife is the best accessory. You can use Unstable Oil Concentrate, but I feel she's hitting a lot, so every time she crits, this is the extra damage that helps now that the Dagon Hammer is nerfed. As for traits, look for a Brute with Solitary. I mean, if you get something extra like the Guard here or Bloodthirsty, Strong, whatever, it doesn't matter. Solitary is the most important one to buff the 10% damage. For armor, try to get this armor. It's very good. It buffs crit damage and critical hit. Class is very crit dependent, so you gotta invest your points almost exclusively into crit. Get to 14 movement with layers or with aptitude points, it doesn't matter. 14 is great for speed, you don't need more than that. What we want for her is to reach around the 80-ish mark for critical, so that when she applies slowdown, she will have 100% crit to her enemies. That's with the help of Cruelty. The Dagon Hammer you can get in the Tiltern's Tomb of Ancients, but I suggest don't rush for this class. Don't rush to get it right away. I mean, she really starts to blossom at level 8. If you do decide to get her earlier, it's fine. You just have to target medium and light armor targets because she will have trouble killing tanks. Let's jump into a battle quickly right now to give you some tips on how to use her. So one of the biggest strengths that I mentioned for this class is that at level 5, she already has the ability to run in and run out, and you don't have to worry about defending her. So let's go and attack these guys here. So what I want to do is I want to slow this guy down, and I want to hit him, and I want to end up right next to an enemy. This will buff me with fury, and possibly if they survive, which I doubt, then I have a chance to proc the unstable oil. And there you go. Now we killed the guard outright, and now we're gonna make a short work of these guys. They were actually both seasoned, so 30% extra health. Finish that guy, and now we can run to safety. This guy is with slowdown, 4 speed, never catching us. So yeah, kill 4 people, disable 1, and run to safety. That's the two-handed brute. So I just passed the turns of my other characters just to show you. So with the inspiration, we got 28 move. Look at the amount of space we can cover. And now we're already buffed with brutality and fury. The Dagon Hammer's AoE arc is just amazing. We didn't even need to do Relentless Charge. And with this, I'm gonna end this video. I hope you learned a lot of things. I hope you'll be enjoying the brute as much as I do. Let me know in the comments, what do you think? Remember to like and subscribe. We got the new membership options. This is gonna be the first video. We're gonna remove the pesky and skippable ads, make it nicer for you, a more enjoyable experience spending your time on the channel. Regardless of all that though, thank you for watching, thank you for stopping by, and I'll see you in the next one. Hex out.